welcome to Football Saturday, college football. We are going to have ourselves a beautiful morning. I am GunzPicks, aka the Gun from Shark and the Gun, and we are here on the Sports Wagering Network with Saturday Mornings with Guns. Now, if anybody who hasn't seen this show or would like to know the rules of this show, basically this is an interactive show. I talk to the chat. Everybody that comes in here with and ask me their plays, ask me their advice, I will give you my opinions, whether I like the play or not. And we will be doing this as long as it takes. I mean, if you guys want to go in there and get into the chat right now and start hitting us up, I'll talk to all y'all about any single play that you want, your plays, your views, and my opinions. That is the premise of the show. I will also be giving out some, I got 3 extra picks that I'm going to be giving you guys this morning as well. And I'll be talking them periodically through the show just to keep you guys interested. And then I'm going to be bringing the cup of coffee parlay once again. Listen, we didn't hit the last one last week. It was kind of a bad week one for me. But we actually did well on Thursday. We hit the Monday play with FSU. The Sunday play with FSU, and then we hit the Monday play with the under on the Duke Clemson game. So if you guys jumped on that, congratulations to you, baby. We got to just get the vibes going here. So I play a little CBS College Football Saturday. Let's go. Get in the chat. As I take a little sip of the Sanka. Here we go. Football guy in the chat. Good morning, fellas. Let's get some today. Let's stop that noise. Hit the gun. All right. Football guy in the chat says, heard UTSA pick last night. Thoughts on the over 67 or less? Just looking at the correlation on that one. That's getting a little bit out of reach for me. That is a high total. Man, that's tough for me. I'm gonna have to pass on that one. I'm not necessarily a total guy. I usually find like 1 or 2 spots through the college football season, maybe even on a weekly basis, that I think are interesting to kind of hit when you look at the history between these two teams. But I mean, if honest opinion, I think it is going to be high scoring in this one. I think UTSA's offense really didn't look good last week. And this week, they're going to have to pick things up a little bit. I know they got the new offensive coordinator that's, kind of getting everybody adjusted. Frank Harris is the elite and they have elite quarterback. And they also have some good wide receivers in there. Of course, Texas State, that's kind of the pace they want to play. They want to go out there. They want to score points. And UTSA will probably want to do the same. So I don't hate the over, I would say. Honest opinion on that one. Don PLA says, I have a question. Go ahead. All right. Should I take Holy Cross over BC? I see Holy Cross covering the number on this one. Man, you are getting deep into the weeds. Listen, BC's just not played well. I mean, their performance last week was abysmal. I think they had to pay their opponent $1 million to lose at home. So there might be a little bit of a get right spot for them. I have to watch a little bit more Boston College football. Try to get a sample size before I even delve into them playing lackluster teams like Holy Cross. A little bit of an in-state rival, I guess. So maybe Holy Cross will be in a motivated mood to go and beat BC. So yeah, if there was a take on this one, I'd probably take the dog there. But you got to understand where BC's coming from. I don't know what the coaching staff did to them this week. If they, really beat them up to kind of emphasize like we can't lose to teams that are below our pay grade. But I don't know. Time will tell on that one. Yeah, I just need stats on this one, Don. It's early in the season, we're just trying to sniff these teams out, trying to figure them out here and there. There is historical data on some of these matchups because they play each other year after year, but it's you're basically, flying blind a little bit because of all the turnover with college football these days. I mean, everybody can, transfer in the drop of a hat. It's a little bit crazy. All right. While we get everybody in here, I'm going to drop a couple of plays as we're talking here, but I want to talk about this Southern Miss and Florida State game. Now, we saw Florida State. We took them on Sunday. Absolute pure domination of LSU. Coming off that big win, 45-24, plus 35 net yards, plus 1 turnover ratio. Southern Miss beating Alcorn State. They didn't really play anybody last week. But while Florida State's offense looks great with Jordan Travis and 74% completion rate, 4 touchdowns, 1 INT last week versus LSU, the defense didn't look as impressive as what people anticipated. 460 yards of total offense given up to LSU. Granted, it is LSU and they do have an offense, but they gave up 347 yards passing, and they gave it up to Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels, to me, is more of an elusive runner than he is a passer. So there's a little bit of concerns there in the passing game, passing defense, for that matter, for Florida State. Then you have Southern Miss. They have a pretty decent team. I mean, they have a very veteran team as well. They have weapons last year, but the problem with them is they didn't have the QB. I mean, they basically put the workload on Frank Gore and tried to run the ball. They were very one-dimensional last year. But they went to the transfer portal, got 2 solid quarterbacks that they can run with. They have Billy Wiles that came over from Clemson, and then Holman Edwards from Houston. Wiles ran most of the offense last week. He actually did pretty well, 75% completion rate, 3 touchdowns, 1 INT. 9 returning starters on that offense as well, including Frank Gore and their top wide receiver, Jacarius Haston. Those guys offensively should be okay against this Florida State defense. Now, Southern Miss, if you actually look at them versus non-conference opponents, pretty impressive, might I add. 5-0 against the spread versus non-conference opponents, 3-1 against the spread as an away dog. And then you have Florida State, 5-8 against the spread as a home favorite. So I see this as kind of coming off that big game on Sunday. You have less rest, and there's longer preparation there for Southern Miss. And you have this huge number that is, to me, a little bit more inflated to the fact that they came off this big win. They just dominated an SEC team. A lot of people are high on Florida State. And, yeah, for the season, I am too. I think they're arguably the best team in the ACC without question now, looking at what Clemson did last week. But I just see this as more of a we're just going to go out there and get the win, maybe a little bit more competitive than what is anticipated by the books. Actually, but this 31 – I just think is way too high in this one. So I'm on Southern Miss. I took them at plus 31 a couple of days ago. I haven't looked to see if that number dropped. If anyone in the chat can tell me about that one, if they're looking at it. But I just think it's a perfect spot to take Southern Miss because Southern Miss can score points. They can move the ball down the field. But I just think this number is way too high. So that's why I'm going to be rolling with on that one. So that's pick number 1 for the show today. Football guy in the chat says SMU plus 17 first half. If you can get it, seems to be a solid play. Can't disagree with you on that. Just checking the odds on that one. There we go. They're playing Oklahoma. Yeah, Oklahoma coming off that massive win last week too. The line's sitting here at what, minus 16.5. I'm seeing here. I think a lot of people are. If you're just looking at the market, I just think everybody's seeing what happened last week with Oklahoma against Arkansas State. Everybody's going to be really high on Oklahoma today, and it may be a perfect spot for SMU to sneak in there and at least get a cover. Maybe this is a 10-point game. Maybe it's a 14-point game, but it'll still be under the number. I think if you're going to take this game, I would say SMU or pass, even though, Oklahoma looked really impressive last week. I can't lie. And if you watched my Big 12 preview, I was very high on Oklahoma this year, and I actually have the over on win total for them. And, they had a good start last week. We'll see if they keep up. Just going through the chat here. It's like the Dom PLA in the chat goes, do you think Notre Dame comes out hot today versus SEC minus 4.5 first half, but they're going to have to be up. This game, Don, here's the thing with this game, and I am a Notre Dame fan, so I always tell people I'm like I don't like betting Notre Dame as a favorite. I like them more as a dog, and I don't necessarily like betting them. Period, because double. I'm already emotionally invested in them. I think they looked very impressive in their first two games. They took care of business. Now they got to go play an ACC team on the road. First real challenge of the year. NC State with a lot of turnover, but they do have Brennan Armstrong in that offense. They ran that RPO pretty impressively last week versus UConn, but I felt they were kind of flat overall. Maybe they're just getting adjusted on that one, but it's going to be a real test for the Notre Dame defense to make stops. I think the offense is going to be fine. I think they're going to get down the field. I guess the headline really is Sam Hartman versus NC State has never performed well, so you can use that as you will. I'm a little bit nervous about it. That line being at 7.5, 7, it's just so low. It's like, why is it that low? It's got me nervous. I'll be pacing here at noontime watching this game. I heard there's lightning storm issues in Raleigh too, so hopefully this game doesn't get delayed because that's going to really hurt Notre Dame. If you're looking at first half, I'd probably go check the weather report if you're going to go bet that game in the first half, but nothing I'm going to be touching. I'm too emotionally invested. Yeah, Don PLA says SMU, damn good team. Well, I mean, we'll see. I mean, they're doing a little bit of turnover with that team. That new quarterback situation there at SMU, but Tanner Mordecai going over to Wisconsin. So that team's going to be something to watch. I think they're going to be one of the top, at least top 3 or 4 teams in the AAC. But with all the teams that are coming over from like Conference USA, it kind of changes things a little bit. Smoke and Mirrors in the chat says, "Go Hokies." He is Mr. Hokie himself, Virginia Tech. Smoke and Mirrors, love that dude. He says, and plus NC State can't run the ball. I wouldn't say they can't run the ball. Brennan Armstrong can move his legs. They are, it is a new running back in the backfield for NC State. They're dealing with a lot of turnover. It'll just be a team to watch later. And really, to me, I think with a team that's, with the changing offense, with the new quarterback situation, it's tough to go and play a team like Notre Dame that already knows the system working with Freeman. Granted, Sam Hartman is a new installation into that offense, but everybody else has been there before. So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting game for sure. This is kind of the barometer of what the season is going to look like for Notre Dame. So hopefully they make a statement here on the road versus NC State. And also, by the way, know this about Notre Dame: 29 straight, I believe, versus ACC opponents in the regular season. They have won 29 straight. Austin Hunt in the chat, the gun, baby, bang, bang, bang. Let's give him a little bit of a cock shotgun for the boys. All right, I'm going to go another play with you guys as you're watching here live. If you're watching this on Twitter, get your ass over to YouTube so I can see your comments. If you're giving me comments on Twitter right now, I can't see them. For some reason, StreamYard doesn't let you see all the comments. I don't know what they did, but everything's going through YouTube right now. So please, if you got questions and you put them in Twitter, I cannot see them. Please come over, get your ass, hit the link, and come over to YouTube and watch on the Sports Wagering Network. And also, if you can, please, if you're watching this, like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the thumbs up and then hit the bell notification so you know every time that we go live. That helps me. That helps the show. That helps all of us grow, grow, grow. Austin says, "Love you and the Shark." Love you too, baby. Let's go. We're going to have an exciting show tomorrow, 9 a.m. too, with the Shark, the Odds Fellow, and myself to talk NFL. There's a lot of, I'll tell you this, Shark and I were talking last night, a lot of alignment across the board tomorrow. And when we're aligned, we dominate. So it's going to be an absolutely fun show. All right, I'm going to give another play here. This is play number 2 for the show. I want to talk about this Ohio FAU game, okay? Ohio basically their stats are a little bit skewed, and I'll get to that in a second. So I like the dog here, Ohio plus 3.5. I think it's down to 3 in some cases. So please just go grab it now before it drops. I also like a little sprinkle on the money line for this one as well. Unofficially on the money line, I'm just going to go with the 3.5. But Ohio coming off a win 27-10 to Long Island University, plus 97 net yards for the game. They put up 303 total yards of offense. But Ohio really is just underperformed in the first 2 weeks due to the fact that Curtis Rourke got hurt in the first game in week 0 versus San Diego State. Before he went down, he went 8 for 10, 80% completion rate after he suffered the injury. And he sat out versus Long Island University to get prepared for this game. FAU on the other side just beat up an FCS opponent in Monmouth 42-20, plus 132 net yards, minus 1 turnover ratio. Casey Thompson, the new quarterback over there, if you remember him, he's a transfer that came over from Texas, took a cup of coffee, so to speak, over at Nebraska, and now he is over here at FAU. 280 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, 1 INT. He's FCS school, okay? Let's take that with a grain of salt. These two teams did meet last year, with Ohio winning the game 41-38 as 4-point home dogs. Now the line sits here right around the same number, but it's flipped. Now Ohio is the away dog, and FAU is the home favorite. But the line is identical to last year. Why is it identical if they flip sides? It doesn't really make sense here, especially with FAU. They got 18 returning starters and an upgrade at the QB position. So when you see suspicious lines like that, you just need to jump on that right side. Line correlation is everything. And if you can break down the teams and find the reasoning, then usually you can. But in this case, it makes no sense. And I know the return of Rourke is going to really drop that line down. So I think it's a perfect spot to be taking Ohio here. And also you got to look at Ohio 10-6 straight up and 8-5 against the spread versus AAC opponents. And Rourke carved them up last year, carved up that FAU defense for 345 yards passing, 4 touchdowns and 0 INTs. So this is a perfect spot. Got to be rolling with the Bobcats on this one. Play number 2 for the show ads. Give me Ohio plus 3.5, 2 units special. As we take a sip of coffee in the big time. Yeah. How do you feel about Boise State? I must have looked at that for a minute because I always look for those get right spots for teams, and Boise State just getting taken to the woodshed by Washington last week might be the play. I'm just trying to find the odds on this one. Bear with me for a second. Where is Boise? Boise, where are you? There you are, UCF. Okay, so I would probably say that would be the take. Ooh, that line is really low for a UCF game. So the line's sitting here at minus 3.5. I haven't checked the history on them, but honestly, knowing what happened to Boise State last week kind of makes me want to take Boise here in this spot. Home dogs on the blue turf versus a comparable opponent, UCF, with a lot of turnover. But they still have John Reese Plumlee there at UCF. I mean, it's still an electric offense. I like to see this be a get-right spot here. I would probably say taking the 3.5 would be my lean on that one. And as long as it stays above that field goal, we could have ourselves a ball game and still be protected there with the half a hook. Could be a field goal game, but yeah, I think that's the take I would be on there, Austin. Football guy, my SMU is supposed to say Southern Miss first half. Oh yeah, I was kind of like, why is the first half 17.5 for a 16.5 full game? Yeah, I you know what? My brain's not working this morning. I should have recognized that. I was a little bit I really thought that was an interesting first half line. I'm like, wow, what are the books telling you there? I said, I mean, if that was really a realistic line and the full game was less than the first half spread, you take the favorite. I mean, no question on that one. But yeah, Like I said, full game. Actually, not first half. I don't hate. I don't hate that one. If you think about, the highest of highs, you would have the most value there in the first half with Southern Miss, and then uh, I mean, I like them full game. I just don't know where is Florida State just gonna put on the Jets and just go, 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 get up that big score, and then just kind of regress and kind of like, I call it 100 meter, like a sprinter in the 100 yard and the 100 meter dash, right? So if you're playing in the quarterfinals, you're just going to sprint as hard as you can for like 75 meters, and then you're just going to cool the Jets down. Is that going to be Florida State today in the second half? Are they going to pump? Are they going to really get high octane offense? Score a lot of points here in the first. We'll see what happens on that one. Yeah, Ohio, we're definitely going to be doing that, baby. Boise, yeah, great spot. I may just take that personally myself, Austin. Thanks for pointing that out. Exactly goes Baylor +8. I lean that way exactly. I do, to be honest with you, but the quarterback situation for both teams is a little bit of a head scratcher, especially on the Baylor side. They're going to be going with a backup today. I don't really have a large sample size with them. I don't think it's a big drop off from one quarterback to the other for Baylor because they really don't have anybody exceptional. Washington, I'm sorry, Utah, on the other hand, uh, Cameron Rising is not going to be playing in this one again. They're going to go with the backup. I didn't really think the backup was extremely impressive last week. They did get the job done, but with Utah, I don't like playing them on the road. I think they regress heavily on the road, especially on the defensive side. And I would rather take the dog Baylor above a 7 in this spot. Really short line too. It's kind of a head scratcher there. But if I had to lean on this one, Baylor, nothing I'm going to be taking officially. But that's the way I would bet it. So while we got you guys in there, and we'll let the chat fill up one more time, please, all I say is if you're watching this live, I'm here for you. You ask the questions. I'm going to come and give you all the opinions I can. Whether you like it or not, you can fade it, you can tail it. It's up to you. It's your coin. But let's talk about a little segment that I have kind of created, and we call this the cup of coffee parlay. The cup of coffee parlay, sponsored by Viva Tequila Seltzers. Viva Tequila Seltzers, 4.5 ABV, the delicious artisanal Blanco tequila in a fruity natural fruit drink. You got to go check them out, vivaseltzer.com, and order yourself a case of the beautiful nectar, because that is an absolutely must-have drink during football seasons in the fall. All right, let's go into the cup of coffee parlay here. This is something that I cooked up, and when I call it a cup of coffee parlay, I say you're not going to spend more than a cup of coffee. And I'm talking maybe a Dunkin' Donuts. We got the what do we got, the pumpkin spice latte parlay today because it is the fall. Let's go Nebraska money line, because this is what I consider the box checker of all box checkers for Nebraska. Please, Cornhuskers, step up. I talked a lot of shit this week. So we got the Nebraska money line. We got the Notre Dame money line. We got the JMU money line. JMU playing Virginia. Virginia is absolutely awful. And Texas A&M money line versus Miami. I don't like Miami whatsoever. They completely always trip and fall on their dicks when they play SEC teams. You like the Iowa money line, rivalry game. Home team usually is the team that falters in that rivalry. I was looking at that this morning, and this line is basically identical to last year, except for Iowa was the home team. Now Iowa is the away team with I think a half a hook higher than last year. So line correlation there, but I like them on the money line to win. UTSA money line, UNC money line, Oklahoma money line. Of course, I talked about Ohio money line. Georgia South is a perfect spot as well. We got them on the money line. I didn't have the balls to take New Mexico State on the money line because something odd could happen with that one. I'm going to take them at plus 9.5 to throw into the parlay, and Wisconsin versus Washington at Pullman in revenge spot. Get them on the money line as well. 141-1 this parlay is. So cup of coffee, parlay of the day, baby. Let's cock the gun, fire the shot, and tail me on this one, baby, so we can cash together. It is, like I said, just a lottery ticket. We're having fun here on a beautiful college football Saturday. Going back to the chat, football guy coming in. Agree with Utah. They are Heckle Jekyll at West Virginia. Yes. I mean, it's it's West. No kidding. It's just home and away. I mean, they just it's insane the numbers that you find when you look at the box scores and their overall performance, home versus away. It's unreal. What do we think here? Exactly. Troy plus 16.5. I was gonna make that one of my ads today, and I laid off. I was doing my research on it, and I just got a little bit gun shy, so to speak. No pun intended. Because I'm so fond of Troy, especially after their performance last year. I just expected some drop off and regression with that team. Just trying to find them here. I know I looked at them this morning. I'm gonna make that one of my top 3 pick ads. So where? Sorry about that. Oh, there we go. They're playing Kansas State. Yep. Yeah, that's the way I was gonna go. I see. You said plus 16.5. That's actually a good number. Across the board here, I'm seeing it start dropping it to 15s. I don't know if that's collective. I'm just looking at all the shops here. I'm seeing 15s, 15.5. So you got a good number there. Exactly. I like it. So yeah, I think the Troy is the play. By the way, love the show. Love you, man. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Just like and subscribe. Hit the like. It's what we want. All over Baylor myself. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Austin. I think that's the play. Listen, I'm wearing the Baylor hat, and then I just kind of picked the hat back there, not knowing. I tried not to pick a hat that I'm fading today. I wore Oregon yesterday, but I just wanted to throw this on, just for shits and grins. And sure enough, maybe it's just telling me you should be taking Baylor today. I might add that to my card. Talking myself into some of these plays. This is what this chat does. Sometimes you may have looked at a game, you may have passed on a game. And then you get to the chat, and they basically goes, well, what about this look? And then you start looking at it. It goes, you know what? That's the look. So, yeah. Says Austin, love the parlay, brother. Yeah, let's cash. Listen, longevity portion. I'm going to do this every week. It's $5. It's nothing. You can skip coffee for the day. Or you can make it at home, right? Every year I've hit at least one of these. Out of the 13, 14 weeks of the season, I've hit at least one of these. So it's always a good little boost to the account. It's just a little fun thing that we do. We're not getting crazy with it. So it's something that I'm going to bring to the table every single week. So bait or tail, baby. All right, football guy in the chat. No, not sure if it's good or not, but my favorite play is Texas Tech. Bo Nix numbers away from home covered spread. I broke that down yesterday, football guy. I know you were there watching the show. I love that play today. I just think it's a get right spot. Perfect upset at Wyoming, lightning storms, and everything that happened with that team. So many returning starters for the Texas Tech team. Second year installation into the offense. This is an offense that's going to move the ball up and down the field. I just know that Texas State at home, all black. I'm hoping they're just going to come out there screaming, yelling, excited for this game and get it done. It's a perfect spot. It really is. It's Texas Tech or bust. Take them at plus 6.5. And I almost put him on the money line in that parlay, but I did not. So it is, you love these spots in college football. Benjamin Rush in the chat. He likes NC State plus 7.5. How dare you against my Notre Dame Irish? Miami plus 4.5. I like Texas A&M, honestly. Oklahoma minus 3.5. Oklahoma minus 3.5. Is that true? Oh, Oklahoma State. I got you. I misread that. And then Rice at plus 9. Love Rice today, by the way. Love Rice. And I woke up this morning and looked at my phone. I see that line and I gave it out at plus 10. That's why it's important. And I want to make sure I promo properly. Get into my Slack channel, please. There's a link in my bio on Twitter. I released a lot of these plays early. Like sometimes I'm going through my card. I will release plays on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, making sure we get the right lines because right now I released Rice at plus 10 and now it's sitting at 7.5. So, I mean, if it ain't a Rice play, I don't know what is. I still like Rice at plus 7.5 too. I think this is a one-score game. Rice is going to keep this competitive. They really didn't play well last week, but they played Texas. Texas is a really good team. This Alabama-Texas game is just going to be fun to watch, by the way. Anyone wants an opinion on that one? I don't got one. I just want to watch. I just think it's one of those spots where Nick Saban usually comes out swinging and shows you why Bama is Bama. That is the history. But this Texas team is built a little bit different. So I don't want to play either side on it. I mean, if you take Texas and Bama goes and beats them 42-3, you're being kicking yourself later. He said, I knew it. It was Bama again. I fell for the trap. So, yeah, don't fall for the trap on this one. This is the biggest game on the board this week, other than Colorado and fucking Nebraska. I don't know how that became the biggest top ticket game, but, Prime has that effect, I guess. So, let's go. Benjamin Rush, 10 is a huge number. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the line correlation on this one, it was bigger last year when these two teams played, okay? Now you got Rice. I think Rice was 17 or 18 last year, and now they're 10 on the road. Whew. I mean, I think it's a perfect spot here for Rice, for sure. Going in there. Mike, what's going on, buddy? Morning, buddy. Drink a little sip of the coffee and hit the button. Shout outs to the chat. Michael is in there one more time. So, hey, what do you think about Cal versus Auburn? I know this is going to be a late night special, and I hope Cal is at home. That's what I hope. I'm crossing my fingers as I'm going down the board. Oh my God. That Rice line is going down as I'm looking at it. Wow. I'm not seeing it here. Yes, they're playing at home. Okay. Yes. Home dog Cal is everything. This may be an ad for me. Cal played great last week. Impressive. The running back really for Cal. He's been there a while. I know he's a beast, but he looked more like a beast last year. Very poised and collected. I thought losing their quarterback would hurt Cal, and I just never seen them perform well on the road. But when they get home and they're a dog and they're playing a team like Auburn, this to me is a Cal spot or bust. Kind of makes me hate it a little bit because only for the fact that Cal outperformed themselves last week and impressed people. When that happens, kind of the public goes, oh, yeah, Cal's back, and they kind of jump on it. I wish they kind of underperformed and fell flat a little bit, and that didn't happen last week. But, yeah, I think this is Cal all day, all day. Love him as a dog, love him at home. Beautiful spot. Austin, Irish today, baby. Let's go, baby. Irish all damn day. I'm going to be a little bit nervous for that one. Not going to lie. And it's a noon game, so it could really ruin my day. Mike says, I think Rice wins outright with a little money line. I agree with you on that one. If I'm not mistaken on Rice, I could have sworn they won. I'll have to look back. I have to look back at my notes. I could have sworn they won the game last year, but I might be wrong. Or they just kept it really close. Houston. Oh, man. Is Rice getting a little public? How'd that drop? Oh, now it's okay. So it's 7.5. I'm seeing 8s across the board for that Rice game. So yeah, go grab it now. Mike goes, you watch UFC guns? I got a banger on Tai Tuivasa plus 210 in the heavyweight match. I like UFC when there's a big card. I love the Adesanya's going to be fighting today. I love cards when he's fighting. They used to put O'Malley and Adesanya on the same UFC card. They were doing that a while collectively, and I thought that was the only pay per view to buy for the UFC. It was just so fun, great cards. Even the women's matches were awesome. So yeah, I mean I do like certain cards. If I see guys I like, I'm gonna watch it. This Adesanya fight is gonna be a banger too. Can't wait for that one. Yeah, a really good day for sports. Just love it, man. Football season, you got baseball, you got NFL coming back on Sunday, you got the UFC. Ah, beautiful, beautiful. Football guy says I took the over on the NC State game. I think that's the play on this one. I think Notre Dame's you're gonna have to score to stay up with Notre Dame. That I don't want to get too excited for the Irish, but man, Sam Hartman stepped in there and just having a veteran quarterback with that offense is just what they needed. I think the thing with Notre Dame on this one, they're going to run the ball hard. And Audric Estime, and that core running backs, they can get yards. They have over 6 yards per carry. And then even NC State versus UConn, I think they gave up over 6 yards per carry in that game too. I mean, this is Notre Dame can really go in here and smoke them, but you don't know where their focus is. I'm hoping they're mentally focused and ready for the spot here. All right, I'm going to add one more play for you guys here, and I did allude to it a little bit, and I'm going to be going. I took Texas A&M -3 today. I just think that I can't trust Miami. I just can't. The excitement about Miami year after year is annoying to me. They just underperform. I don't like Mario Cristobal. I think he's not the correct hire. I think Jimbo Fisher coming off that 5-7 year, and I did allude to it when I did the preview show. I think this team is a year older and a year wiser, and they have one of the best defenses in college football. Their defensive line is absolutely stout. And if you look at what Miami did last week, they basically just ran the ball. They're not going to be able to do that today. They're going to have to get Tyler Van Dyke out there passing the ball. And I know he's slightly banged up. I know he has a hand issue or thumb issue. So I think this is a Texas A&M spot on the road. I know they won last year 17-9 in the most boring game, but this was a Texas A&M team that was directionless at the quarterback position. I think Wegman is the guy, and they'll be able to move the ball down the field, and that defense is going to keep them in locked down. So if you're going to be taking this play, it's Texas A&M or pass. So I'm going to be taking Texas A&M as my third ad for the show, baby. Michael goes, I want to play Nebraska so bad. I mean, huge letdown spot. The whole world loves them. I just wish it was anyone but Nebraska. Mike, I'm a glutton for punishment. I see a spot and I read the stats and I read the numbers. I know it's Nebraska, but it's not Scott Frost, Nebraska. It's Matt Rule's Nebraska. And what I will say right now, if Nebraska can't turn it around in the next 3 years with Rule, then they need to cancel their football program for the unforeseeable future. Because there is who else can clean that team up? Who else can step in there? Is it Nick Saban? Is it Urban Meyer? Who else could go into Nebraska and clean them up? Rule is the guy. He goes to Temple, he changes it, turns them around. He goes into Baylor in one of the worst coaching situations ever and turns them around. Or back to, from the fall from grace under Briles to, being one of the most elite teams in college football. This, to me, is a Nebraska spot. I cannot get past how bad that Colorado defense was last week. I can't get off how bad TCU was so bad on the defensive side, it made Colorado look good. Colorado wasn't doing anything exceptional on the offensive side. They were just running the same remedial crap, and it was working because TCU's defense was just terrible. Nebraska doesn't have a terrible defense. Their offense is suspect for sure. Don't turn over the ball. That's all I ask. Don't throw it to Travis Hunter. Throw it to the rest of the guys and run, because you're going to be able to get 7 yards per carry versus Colorado. So this all day long is the spots that I love. Give me Nebraska all day long, and I will die with the pick. Hopefully by 3 o'clock, I'll be it'll be a big score, and we will be holding up the championship belt at the end, and all the Colorado guys can come and slam me afterwards if they want to talk. But this is I'm going to be on Nebraska. I can't do it. I can't. I don't. I'm an unbeliever of Deion Sanders currently. I'm not saying he can't turn that program around. I think doing it this quickly is it doesn't make sense. A football guy, Bob Davie, could fix Nebraska. Bob Davie, how dare you? Oh, Bob Davie, what a name, what a pull. Shout out Notre Dame on that one. I don't know, Guns. Did you see the last week's? I did. I watched it. I'm offensively. I mean, listen. They always play close games, and even when they got a lead, they'll Nebraska themselves. Correct. They always do. I think that catch from the Minnesota guy at the end of the end zone where he dragged the foot was an exceptional catch. I mean, what do you do? Do you think that's because Nebraska, didn't play well, or is that just because a guy made an exceptional catch to what he tied? I think he tied the game on that one, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, I mean, Nebraska. He had 3 turnovers last week throwing the ball, but but Sims threw for 75% of his pass completion. I think it was 13 for 18 in that game, and as long as you don't throw it to the other jersey, you'll be fine. I think they should really focus on running the ball heavy on this one. I hope Rule is smart enough, and which I believe he is, to understand what the Colorado defense is going to give you, and they're going to give you everything. So while you can't trust your quarterback throwing the ball, just run with it. So, and that guy almost had 100 yards rushing last week, Sims, versus Minnesota. And I think if they're going to run him today, he's going to have over 100. So if there is a prop, take Sims over rushing yards. I don't know what the number is, if that's even available. But if Nebraska's going to win this game, they're going to need to do it with his feet. Anyone that hasn't just joined the chat or just joined the show, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I will play one more time for everybody that missed it. I got you a cup of coffee parlay, so let's hit it one more time. Cup of coffee parlay, sponsored by Viva Tequila Seltzers, and here it is, baby. I need a coffee sponsor. So if you know any coffee sponsors, send them my way. Cup of coffee parlay. Give me Nebraska money line, Notre Dame money line, JMU money line, Texas A&M money line, all combined into a parlay. By the way, Iowa money line, UTSA money line, UNC money line, Oklahoma money line, Ohio Bobcats money line, Georgia Southern money line, and we're gonna go with the spread because I'm a little bit scared. New Mexico State money line, and we're gonna top it off with a Wisconsin revenge game. Wisconsin money line, 141-1, cup of coffee parlay. Please don't spend more than $10 on this pick. Just for those who missed it, I did talk about them periodically through the show. Southern Miss +31, Ohio +3.5, and Texas A&M, my 3 ads, also including the plays from the Shark and the Gun last night. Those are what I gave out. Nebraska plus 3.5, money and the money line plus 140, UTSA minus 12.5, New Mexico State plus 10.5, Texas Tech plus 6.5, Wisconsin minus 6, and Rice plus 10. I think it's 7.5. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's like 8, 7.5 now. Still a good line above the 7. I will take that all day long. Getting back to the chat. Can you repeat your Notre Dame pick? I don't have a Notre Dame pick. I'm just gonna watch this game. What scares me about that line is it is a NC State line at home dog type of situation. NC State really didn't impress me last week versus UConn. They did win by double digits, but they didn't cover the spread. But there was times where they just didn't look right. And Brendan Armstrong with his offensive coordinator could keep it close. But I don't want to invest in this game whatsoever. And everybody's saying that, historically versus NC State, Sam Hartman has underperformed. I don't know if that's going to translate with Notre Dame per se, because this is a whole different animal. But it's not a game I'm going to be playing. I'm just going to be I'll be watching this game at home with bated breath. Hopefully Notre Dame gets it done. If I had a lean, I'm going to say Notre Dame should be able to beat the piss out of them, but it's Notre Dame, okay? It's Notre Dame. They've let me down before. I'm always waiting for the ball to drop every season on that one. Mike coming back. Sims is listed as over 64.5. Take it. He's going to have to run today. He had I want to say 90 yards last week. Just take it. 64.5. I think they're going to run RPOs and they're going to use his legs today. You have to against that. I mean, 7 yards. They are the worst rushing defense in college football. The worst. So if there's anybody that's going to run yards today, it's Sims. Sims is their top guy. Try Black Rifle. They are small. I know Black Rifle. I've heard their commercials on podcasts too. Yeah, that is a good product. Yeah, I'll go check that out. Actually, that's a good one. Maybe I'll go buy some of that stuff and that'll be the show coffee. I heard it's really good too. There's a few people that were I think there's a few people from work telling me about that. They had some of that and said it was really good. So, I'm just rocking Dunkin' Donuts today. Brewed a cup. I actually brewed a pot. That's my 3rd cup today, so I'm going to be wired all day long on this one. All right, we're 48 minutes in. 7 of you beautiful bastards are still watching me on YouTube. If you're watching me on Twitter and you're putting questions, I don't see them. You need to come over to YouTube, to the Sports Wagering Network. There is a link. Just click that link, and it will take you to me. And then you just get into the chat and ask your questions, and I will fire the shots across the bow, cock the gun, hit the fire, and that's how the show works. Very interactive chat, and I bring the opinions. Let's go. All right, Don PLA comes in. Any thoughts on Virginia Tech and Purdue? Lean Purdue on that one. I just don't trust Virginia Tech right now. There's a lot of changeover with that team. I know they're playing at home. You have to deal with Sandman as they come in, but that home field advantage goes away after Sandman for Virginia Tech. And Virginia Tech actually coming off. You know what? I just remembered. I'm looking at the line right now. It looks like Virginia Tech is a pick'em at this point. Wow, okay. They're playing at home. They're coming off a win versus ODU and a cover. Purdue dealing with a lot of turnover themselves. Yeah, I'd probably lean Purdue. I lean Purdue, but nothing I want to touch. That's a tough one. I want to see what Virginia Tech can do. I guess they played really well last week. I mean, granted, it was ODU, but I'd like to see them versus an actual P5 opponent. Let's sniff them out a little bit, observe and report. I talked about this one, Mike. You probably weren't here for it, but I like the I like the Boise side on this one. I think it's a good get right spot for them getting there. their butts whooped last week from Washington, getting back home on the blue turf where they excel, getting 3.5. I think this is a Boise spot all day long. And if Boise just continues to just underperform like they did against Washington, even though I did take Washington for the slack people, I would say this is probably a Boise State spot. And also, if you want to see all my picks, I put picks up all the time. You got to go to the Slack channel for the Dad Bod Slack channel. Go check us out. Click the link in my bio. If you can't get in the link, just DM me. I'll send you a link. It's absolutely free to join. You can just go in there. We have a main chat. We have two other cappers that put up picks in baseball and NFL and live betting and the whole nine. So I would go check them out. Click the link and get ready to roll. And that's my sales pitch for the Slack. Yeah, I draw plays in there all the time. I'll see looks as I parallel. I never stop looking at the board. As the board keeps going, and I see the market shifting here and there, or I start looking at games that I probably didn't look at. I never stop until the games are done. I'm probably going to add some of these games that are on the late slate. I haven't really looked at them like really intentively, especially that California one. That one interests me a lot, and I'm going to take a look at that one. I'm also going to look at that Oklahoma State Arizona State game. I need to check that out because they're going to have to replace their quarterback. Drew Pine's not going to be playing this week, so that's an interesting spot. And of course, we're going to be on Southern Miss tonight, so a lot going on here in the Guns Lab, and just make sure you join the Slack for that one. Football guy comes in. Any thoughts on Wake Vandy? KO in 8. Oh, Lean Vandy. Yes, that was my thought. I actually put like a quarter unit on Vandy just for fun because you always get those early games and they're just fun. But I like the coach. I just like the coach better over at Vandy. It's not Elko. I'm thinking of who's the other guy that was another Notre Dame guy. It escapes me now who the head coach is over there, but I really like him. Former Notre Dame defensive coordinator. That it's the Brian Kelly tree hierarchy. He's creating his own little spread of head coaches. Mike Elko being one of them. Yeah. So that's what's going to be going on with that one. I lean on the I was going to say Vandals, the Commodores. This is an incredible sports day. Isn't it? It's so good. It's so good. I just wish the weather was a little bit colder. The thing about I'm over here in Maryland, and it's just been like high 90s, mid 90s for this whole entire week. It's like this. It never got this hot during the summer ever, and now all of a sudden the heat starts like just really stinging us. And I know it's like hurricane season, so usually that's what does it. But I love this time of year. You see the leaves falling. You get all the best beers, all the best harvest beers are in the fall. You get your little pumpkin spice latte. I do a little pumpkin spice once in a while. I might be a soccer mom. Is that okay with you? I like a little pumpkin latte. And then you got all the you go to all the harvest fests out there. Great food. Oh, I'd rather be inside watching football. But I don't mind a good little harvest festival once in a while. Early in the morning before the noon games start, go check those out. Fall's the best. It really is. I don't need summer. Why is it that when you get older, you love the fall more? And in the summer, like you just want the summer to go away, so it's the fall. But when you're a kid, summer was everything. No school. You wanted the summer. You never wanted the summer to end. And now, as you get older, you're like, I can't wait to. I'm the fall guy. The unknown stuntman. Make Eastwood look so fine. 85 today in PA. Got pool heater going. Just grab some. Sammy's. You got the Oktoberfest, I hope. Variety pack. You know what the great thing about those is? These are experimental beers, right? These are ones that they always throw like one or two in there that are kind of their mainstay product, and then they do the what I consider the experiment beers, and sometimes those experiment ones are actually pretty good. But I remember Sam Adams did one that was like called Campfire, and it literally tasted like I was drinking smoke. I mean, like fire smoke. It was the weirdest thing, and I mean, I realized that beer's probably off the market now because it was awful. But I always loved those variety packs. Those were the best. Those harvest ones are so good. Um, yeah, me too. That's all you can be. Oh yeah, there we go. Got a pumpkin spice guy in the chat. I hate the heat, and that's why the Bay Area. Oh yeah, I mean yeah, you get that sea breeze. The Bay Area is just always perfect here. Over there, I should say. God, yeah, I used to live in the West Coast. I do miss it sometimes. Um, yeah, it was like smoked oak barrel or something. Yeah, I don't know what it was, but it just had this it tasted like I was drinking a campfire. And I don't know who thought of the idea of like, "Oh yeah, this is a great idea." He's like, "You ever smell a campfire and you just want to eat it?" No. No, not at all. All right, so we're 57 minutes in. I will go for another 2 minutes. We'll get to 11 o'clock and we'll have to shut this show down and get ready for a beautiful college football day. Notre Dame and NC State starts for me at noon. And of course, we got the Nebraska game. I'll have them on two TVs. And I will be pacing attentively. Whether it's going to be a good day or bad day is going to be the outcome of those games. And like I said, go join the Slack, and I'm gonna keep putting plays out there today as the day goes on, and uh, yeah, and then just come into the chat and come sweat some plays with us. We're always very active in there, all the boys in there, so it's a fun time and good community. All we ask, it's absolutely free to join. Is like the end of the month, just throw a little tip our way, put it in the tip jar, and we can stay in as long as you want, month to month. So we don't charge a standard fee. It's like if we perform well, just tip us based on our performance. Performance-based handicapping service is what that is. So to go over one more time, I'm just going to recap everything from the show. Top plays today, right there, bang, Nebraska, UTSA, New Mexico State, Texas Tech, Wisconsin, Rice. Those are going to be my top plays from the show last night. If you want to go see the breakdowns, go check them out on Sharky Waters Nation's channel and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. That's where all the main shows are going to be. Added plays here on the show. I got Southern Miss plus 31, Ohio plus 3.5, and Texas A&M minus 3. Those are my three ads for the show. And of course, the cup of coffee parlay. We only bet a cup of coffee, no more than $10 on this one, folks. This is our little lottery ticket for the day. Nebraska money line, Notre Dame money line, JMU money line, Texas A&M money line, Iowa money line, UTSA money line, UNC money line, Oklahoma money line, Ohio money line, Georgia Southern money line, and then the spread on the New Mexico State game plus 9.5. I got it at FanDuel. And Wisconsin money line 141 to 1. I did get that on FanDuel. No more than $10 on this one, baby. So get at it. Back to the chat. Let's have a day. Have a great day. I got to hit the store before the games. Carne asadas today. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. Win or lose, I'm going to have a great day. Hope you do too. Thank you, Michael. As always, a true gun disciple. Football guy, great show, great chat. Good luck to everybody. Hope your beer's cold and your plays hit. That is the motto from the football guy. I'll give him a little horn for that. All right, that's going to do it for Saturday mornings with guns. Like I said, hit the like and the subscribe button to not only the Sports Wagering Network, but also Sharky Waters Nation's channel. We're trying to build that up to the moon. And listen, we're going to be absolutely cooking on plays all season long, including the NFL, which is going to be live tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you set your alarms a little bit earlier than usual. I have some errands I got to run, but typically that show will be at 10 a.m. moving forward past this week. Only this week it's at 9 a.m. So make sure you set your alarms 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or just check it out on the replay. Get into the chat, have some fun with the boys. It'll be me, the Shark, and the Odds Fellow giving you the absolute fire picks. And I'll give you my top 5 Circa picks because I am in the Circa this year for the NFL. So go check that out. Thanks for joining me. That's going to do it for the show. Appreciate everybody in the chat that come and hung out with me. Michael, football guy, Don PLA, exactly, and all you beautiful bastards. Austin, of course, Benjamin. Love you guys. Thanks for joining. Let's dominate the board. Let's cash some tickets. And as always, let's keep dancing. Bang.